Psalm 65 stands out in its effusive praise of God. From beginning to end, almost every word is a straightforward praise of the Creator and Redeemer God. There is a hint of a cry for rescue, but it is in reference to salvation that has already come. But the help in this case is not to defend against personal or national enemies. In the words of Walt Kelly's cartoon character Pogo, we have met the enemy, and he is us. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas. And this is your daily devotional for Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Psalm 65 begins with the declaration that God deserves praise and proper response is due. It begins, "Praise is due to you, O God in Zion, and to you shall vows be performed, you who answer prayer. To you all flesh shall come." Notice the universal note here. Not only will the psalmist praise God, but indeed all flesh. This is as bold a statement of the universal reign of God as you'll find, and a remarkable one in its day. Because in that day and time, everyone, including the Israelites, knew that there were many gods. The Israelites could acknowledge the existence of other gods, even as they worshipped only the Lord, the God of Israel. But the claim here is that all peoples will come to Zion, to God's holy mountain to worship, and not just all peoples, but all flesh. This includes all creatures. All nature will come to praise their Creator. Next comes the slightest hint of a cry for help, but it is in general terms and refers to help that has already come and will continue on. The psalmist writes, "When deeds of iniquity overwhelm us, you forgive our transgressions. Happy are those whom you choose and bring near to live in your courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of your house, your holy temple. By awesome deeds you answer us with deliverance, O God of our salvation." So did you catch the implied cry for help? It is for deliverance from one's own transgressions. The enemy in this case is not one's personal enemies, those who seek to do one harm, nor is it the enemies of other nations seeking to destroy Israel. The enemy is our own fallible human nature, our own tendency to sin. Most of us are only too aware of our faults. Some of us even indulge in self-loathing, beating ourselves up for every little transgression, real or imagined. This kind of reaction to one's fallibility is as unhelpful as it is unhealthy. On the other hand, it is equally unhealthy to deny our fallibility, our tendency to sin. It's not about wallowing in guilt. It's about being honest with ourselves. The psalmist clearly knows that the awareness of sin can feel overwhelming. Therefore, the psalmist knows how great is the wonder of God's mercy. That's why this psalm rings out with such joy and with words of extravagant praise. Listen to a few choice verses and you'll see what I mean. "You are the hope of all the ends of the earth and of the farthest seas. By your strength you establish the mountains. You are girded with might. You silence the roaring of the seas, the roaring of their waves, the tumult of the peoples. Those who live at earth's farthest bounds are awed by your signs. You make the gateways of the morning and the evening shout for joy." God's power here is expressed in terms of God's awesome displays of power in nature. But then the psalmist turns from God's raw power to God's gentle use of that same power, writing, "You visit the earth and water it. You greatly enrich it. The river of God is full of water. You provide the people with grain, for so you have prepared it. You water its furrows abundantly, settling its ridges, softening it with showers, and blessing its growth." What is so interesting to me here is that while there are many more psalms where the psalmist cries out for help, for deliverance from personal or national enemies, and then concludes with praise for help to come, the praise expressed here for God's forgiveness is more lavish. I think that says something about the psalmist's understanding of the weight of sin and therefore the joy in having that weight, that burden removed. It's hard to appreciate God's grace without an awareness of our sin. It's impossible to praise God if you don't know why God is worthy of being praised in the first place. Clearly, the psalmist knows. Tomorrow, Psalm 143 expresses the opposite emotion, the feeling of being abandoned by God. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.